Hello, you stupendous people. How are you? Today I'm talking about diets and a question that I was asked by Sharon Davies, who is a vegan, but not a culty vegan. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So Sharon was asking what the emissary's opinion of diets was. Is the diet important? Is it important not to eat meat? Is it important to eat meat? What have they got to say? So I thought, okay, well, I'll ask them. So I said to them, what do you think? Is eating meat bad? Or is eating only vegetables bad? Or what? And they said, every single person carries their genetic blueprint, and every genetic blueprint is different. Everybody has a different energy, a different frequency. So basically what they were saying was every single person is an individual. And that's why they said there's no panacea for a diet. The ideal diet, he said, doing air quotes. The ideal diet. There is no ideal diet. There isn't one way that suits everybody. And they said, what we have to do is we have to discover the diet that is right for us, the diet that enhances our lives. But before they got in, and they give me a list of things that we can do to know this. But before we got into that, they said, but what we will add is this, what you might call these fad diets, that are being proclaimed as the only way, like the carnivore diet. I mean, have you looked at that? That is incredible. That is incredible. Or the raw vegan diet, or the, vegan diet, or pescatarian or whatever. What they said was that these extreme diets can be very positive for us in a very short time frame. That's what they said. And they said the only reason, and it doesn't matter which one it is, they said the only reason is that when you limit what you ingest, your body does less work. It has to do less work. And so what happens is that it has time to do other things, which is like the housekeeping. And they said also things like fasting, water fasting, very good, because it allows your body to do housekeeping, to do other things. It's not focused on the food that we eat. So they just left that there. So all of those are very good short term. But then they said the best way of finding out the diet that's right for you is that, number one, when you eat after you've eaten, they said get in touch with your body and just ask the question, how does this food make me feel? Does it make me feel uplifted? Or does it make my body feel depressed, energetically? Uplifted or depressed? It's a very simple question. But I don't know if you've had the experience, I'm sure you have, where you've eaten something and it's repeating on you, it's sitting in your stomach and it's like heavy and it's there all day. Sometimes it's heavy and it's like, or you feel a little bit sickly, or you feel uncomfortable. You've eaten something that isn't right for you, or you've mixed foods that aren't right for you, which we'll come to. They then said, take a very, honest look at what you eat and ask yourself, is there a food that I would say I am extremely attracted to, like with an obsession? Because the obsessive food, the food that creates obsession because it's toxic for us. Lots of people become obsessed with cheese. Why? Because the cheese, it creates, it lights up, cheese lights up the same parts of the brain as cocaine, so they found. But cheese, or any food that attracts you and it makes you go, yum, 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 I've got to have it. What happens is that's toxic for the body, and so when we eat it, the body has to release antitoxin drugs, feel-good drugs to try and cover up the horribleness that you feel. And so you get this high. You get this toxicity high of like, hey, I feel really, whoa. Yeah. So they said, be very aware of foods that, I mean, we've got to love our food. I love my diet. I love it. But I'm not obsessed. I've taken everything out that used to make me obsessed. I used to be obsessed with biscuits and chocolatey cakes and stuff like that. I don't eat them anymore. They said that when you've eaten, if you suffer from extreme flatulence or excessive flatulence, right? Not to use another word, but if you've got a lot, like either repeating on you or the other end, there's something that you're eating that isn't right. What they said was, if that happens, if you're getting a lot of gas, then what you do is don't change your diet, but just take one thing out and try it for a couple of days and see what happens. Because remember, our alimentary system takes about, let's say, 48 hours to pass all the way through. So do change something for a couple of days or 3 days, just take it out. But they said only take one thing out. Don't take, I'll take all of those out. No, just take one out and see any change. If not, put that back in and take something else out. And they said just keep doing that until you find, hang on a minute, I'm not getting that. It's exactly the same with people who have reflux, right? This acid. And I used to have it as well. And I know why, because of the food that I used to eat. What happens with acid is that it's telling you that there's something that you're eating that your body doesn't like. It doesn't like. So exactly the same thing. If you do get acid and you want some relief, take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, or any vinegar, but apple cider is best, isn't it? Take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and wait for 5 minutes and it'll be gone. Okay? So it's quite the opposite to what we're told, like that you have to take alkaline tablets. So again, reflux or gases or whatever, something that you're eating that isn't right. But then they said the most important thing is that you find out what your body wants. Your body knows. It's got lots of experience. It's got a lifetime's worth of experience of eating things. It knows exactly what it likes and what it doesn't like. You don't, but your body does. And so they said either set up, your muscle testing, your finger signaling, this kind of testing, we talked about that before, or find somebody who can do muscle testing on you and check out your food. They said do that, but if you can't, go to see somebody who, there are lots of people, and we've been to see them, where they test all the food types, and they tell you which ones you're allergic to, which ones you should avoid. And that's also very good if you get somebody who's recommended. I mean, I think there's a lot of willy-nilliness in that world, but get somebody who's recommended and find out what you shouldn't eat. And then when you found out, don't eat it. It's ever so important. Don't eat it. You know when you're eating a good diet. Why? You look at yourself in the mirror, you're going to look better. You will have bags of energy. You will lose weight. When you eat the right diet, it isn't that you start under-eating. You will lose weight because your body does not have to fight the toxins or to be managing food that it can't manage. Obviously, it goes without saying that the food you eat should be natural and from base in as much as you can. Pre-prepared food is shit. Bottom line, it's shit. So if you can, don't eat pre-prepared food unless it's an emergency. The emissaries left me with this. They said, it's a folly. It's a folly to promote diets for everybody, to sell a diet as the right one for everybody. And they said, don't be misled by the people who are promoting something because it works for them. That's the folly. It works. Just because it works for one person does not mean it's going to work for another person. And hence the fact that if you are thriving on a vegan diet, enjoy it. Really enjoy it. But don't force it on others. Sharon said, I'm not a culty vegan or whatever, just eat vegan. That's the right way. Remember, it's your business. It's not everybody else's business. And your diet is not to be imposed on other people. And so when somebody's selling you, carnivore diet for everybody, that's not true. The carnivore diet might be working for them. Beautiful, fantastic. You find what's right for you. And when you found what's right for you, then eat that way and you will change your life. And if somebody wants advice, don't advise them on what you eat. Advise them on how to find out what they should eat, what's right for them. That's the skill. That's the biggest benefit that you can give to somebody else, is to say, do this and find out what you should eat. Because, I don't know if you've seen the eating by your blood type. There's the Ayurvedic style of, different humours in the body, and each person has to eat something different. Some people thrive on spicy food, some people can't tolerate it. And so we should never ever sell something as a panacea, except we're all individuals, we're all different. So how's your diet? How do you feel about what you're eating? Do you think that it could be improved? Are you really happy with it? If you're happy with it, I'm happy too. If you think it could be improved, I'm happy too, because at least then you know. If you think your diet's wonderful, and yet you don't have the energy, you're overweight, and you're not feeling good about yourself, your diet's probably not the right one. Harsh, but true. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.